breaking news out of Anaheim. The Los Angeles Angels have fired manager Joe Maddon after losing 12 straight games, and Phil Nevin will be named the interim manager. Now, big news, obviously. The Angels had a very good start to the season, but they have massively cooled down as of late. It's been a rough stretch for them. So they're hoping a manager change can hopefully turn things around, as it may be doing in Philadelphia. My name is Derrik, and you're watching Bleacher Brawls, and let's get into it. Obviously, this is very, very big news here. Joe Maddon, obviously one of the better, I should say, well, I don't know, one of the better managers. I don't necessarily know how we're going to measure a manager's skill based on like numbers or whatever. But he's definitely one of the most experienced managers and gotten the reputation as one of the better managers in the big leagues. However, if your team loses 12 games in a row, I just don't know if you're going to be able to hold on to your job as a manager. Let's be honest. A lot of these losses for the Angels have been in not 1-0 games, one run and one run games. So they've lost a lot of 1-run games in this 12-game losing streak, and they've had some heartbreaking losses like that one in Philadelphia. And they just saw what maybe a manager change could do to a team, because they just played Philadelphia, who just fired their manager, and Joe Girardi, who's another experienced manager. And the Phillies look like they're on a roll now. So the Angels probably saw that and are like, all right, well, we got to figure something out, or we can't keep on losing. And the easiest thing to do when you're losing to try and change the momentum is fire the manager. That's just what it is. Is it necessarily on the manager at times? No, not always. No, but that's the number one thing you can do as a organization. That's the first big thing you can do. Just fire the manager. Now, as a Red Sox fan, it does give me a tiny bit of worry, just because, like I said, we see what the Phillies are doing as soon as they fire their manager and Joe Girardi, and they come off and now they're hot. So I don't want the Angels to get hot. Red Sox still have 3 games left against them, so I'm hoping the Angels don't get hot. But if you're an Angels fan and you're looking at this, yes, like Maddon's a good and experienced manager, but it may not be the worst thing. Now, I'm surprised they named Phil Nevin the interim manager. If I'm the Angels, I would have tried getting a younger manager, actually, as Nevin's not, he's not old. He's 51. He's not super old for a manager, but we've seen what the young managers have done recently. The only real exception to it that young managers has really been Dusty Baker with the Astros, but the Astros already had a team in place. But the young managers seem to come in and do well. Kevin Cash, when he first went to the Rays, he was a young manager. Alex Cora is a young manager. And there's a bunch more as well. Gabe Kapler, he's a young manager. I know that he hasn't had a lot of winning seasons. He's only had one. But the younger managers seem like they might be the right way to go right now. And maybe to get a manager who maybe, is younger, could relate to the players more, understands the players more. Maybe that's something. I don't really know what the locker room, the clubhouse dynamics were with the Angels. I don't think anyone really knows. Let's be honest. That stuff just doesn't come out unless there's a huge falling out between a couple players or between the players and the manager. That stuff normally won't come out. So we don't really know what happened. Let's be honest. We really don't know how the clubhouse was or whatever. So maybe there's stuff in the clubhouse that was happening that also pushed this change to happen for the Angels. But at the end of the day, you can't lose 12 games in a row, especially now the Angels are out of a wild card spot. Now they're having to catch Boston, who they're playing right now. And if they keep on losing, especially to Boston, now instead of just losing half a game and then maybe hope the other team losing, no, now you're losing to the team that you need to catch. So the Angels losing up. If the Angels were to just get swept this series, it would be a nightmare for them. It would be an absolute total nightmare for them. I think they're already a game and a half back of the Red Sox, and it's not going to get any better. Let's be honest, if they just keep on losing. Right now, they are, a game and a half behind the Red Sox. They lost the next 3 games. They go down to 4.5 back. So they just can't do it. They just can't. Let's be honest. The Angels cannot play like this. They have too much talent. They have too much talent on their team to play this bad. They the Angels of all teams. You got Mike Trout, you have Shohei Ohtani. It's, you have the two best players in baseball by far. Obviously, I know that Rendon, he's not on the active roster right now, as, once again, Rendon getting an injuries, they got to love him. So we'll see where all that lands with Rendon and when he comes back. But also, you still have guys like Jared Walsh, who's productive. Obviously, could use David Fletcher if you're the Angels right now. But Marsh, he's been all right. He's been pretty good this year. Obviously, not having Taylor Ward right now isn't helping as well. That's another big guy that they've lost that's been big in their lineup this year. So they are going through some injuries, but that's still not an excuse to lose 12 in a row, let's be honest. Yes, has some of the managing from Maddon been a little questionable at times? Yeah, because let's be honest. That Philly game, they brought in Raisel Iglesias in the 8th inning, and he gave up the grand slam, and then they got the lead in the 9th, but then they had no one to pitch the 9th. Realistically, I know that Herget has been pretty good this year. He hasn't been but he's not a closer. Let's be honest, he's not a closer. Obviously, he's been good this year, 289 ERA in 28 innings, but he's not a guy to shut the game out for you, to go close out that game in the 9th inning. And the Angels didn't really have anyone besides Raisel Iglesias to do that. And they used him in the 8th, and they burnt him. He gave up that grand slam to Harper, and then you didn't have anyone for the 9th inning. Realistically, that was a legitimate option, in my opinion. So that's where I think the Angels have had some mismanagement. But at the end of the day, you just cannot lose 12 games in a row. You literally cannot. I don't know how you lose 12 games in a row. It's actually surprising. They're 27-29 now. They're 8.5 games back of the Astros. Texas is right up behind their butts. Texas is only half game behind them. The Angels were just tied with the Rangers not that long ago, and even before that, they were a couple games ahead of the not tied. They're just tied with the Astros, and they were a couple games ahead of the Astros. Now they're 8.5 behind, and now it looks like, oh crap, this might be this is the Angels all over again. They just can't put it together, and I think we're seeing it again this year. A couple weeks ago, I would have told you the Angels are legitimate title contenders. Right now, they're looking like the Angels teams of old that just cannot figure it out, cannot put it together. And that's what they're struggling with right now. They can't put it together, and it's hurting them, and they need a solution. Will Phil Nevin as the manager be a solution? I don't know. I really don't know. They probably won't hire another manager until after the season. So we won't actually know what the plan is, similar to the Phillies, until after the season when they hire the actual manager. So we'll see where everything lands for the Angels, obviously. And we'll see how the manager change affects their play. I hope it doesn't too much because I'd like the Red Sox to win, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully that they don't get going until after the Red Sox leave town. For me, at least, and for Red Sox fans like me, hopefully they can not figure it out until after the Red Sox leave. And let's just hope that, as a baseball fan, I want to see Mike Trout in the playoffs, but I don't want to see it at the Red Sox cost. I don't want to see the Red Sox just in the playoffs because Trout got in. So it's that mixed bag of as a baseball fan, but also a Red Sox fan. So it's the thing is, though, the Angels have more than enough talent to be in the playoffs. They just can never put it together. And that's been the whole problem all these years. It's, they got Trout and they got the best player in baseball, but their just supporting cast isn't really there. Now you got Ohtani, you even get Rendon, but now Rendon can't stay healthy. Jared Walsh was an all-star last year. Oh, now you got Ohtani's an ace on the mound, and you got Syndergaard, and you got a couple other guys. You got Raisel Iglesias back in the bullpen, but they just can't put it together. It's something weird about the Angels that they just can't put it together. Doesn't make any sense to me at all. They can't put it together, and that's been the problem. Well, that's going to wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in to this Bleacher Brawls breaking news video, as the Angels, as has been stated in this video, fired Joe Maddon, and Phil Nevin is the interim manager. So it's big news, obviously. I hope the Angels don't get back on track soon because I like the Red Sox to win. But at the end of the day, what can you do? It's baseball. Things happen. The Angels get hot. That's going to be unfortunate for me. But what can you do? It's obviously big news. So make sure to check out everything in the description. Check out our Twitter, Instagram, podcast, website, and all the crew's Twitters. We will be doing a Twitter space for the Red Sox game Wednesday against the Angels. The Nathan Eovaldi versus Shohei Ohtani is the pitching matchup. And it's going to be a big game. We're going to do about 90 minutes of it because the game on the East Coast doesn't start till 9:30. So go about 90 minutes maybe a little bit longer, but make sure to join because that'll also be that'll actually be recorded and go up on the podcast. So make sure to check that out. Join us if you want. That starts 9:30 Eastern time. Actually, it might start a little bit before, but the game starts at 9:30 Eastern time. We're gonna go for the 90 minutes during the game. If you want to join, ask us some baseball questions, whatever, make sure to do that. Make sure to check out all our previous videos, Red Sox recaps, the prospect pipeline videos we've been doing, and all the other videos we've been doing. My name is Derek, and you're watching Bleacher Brawls. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.